about. You stand here with me. You wait patiently. I know who are. Hope reveals you, Yahweh. Show your glory today. You are great in love, rich in mercy. You are great in love, rich in mercy. You are great in love, rich in mercy. You oh, surely you're good.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? It's your boy Retro with you on today. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Keep it locked and don't you dare think about touching that dial. We'll be right back with the Retro Philosophy Show.
And tell everybody you know. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lottie Dottie, and I'm in the building hanging out with Retro. Keep it locked, and don't you dare touch that dial.
So you're a philosopher? Yes, yes, yes.
Good evening, good morning, good night, good day. It's your boy Retro. Thank you for pressing play.
Come on, somebody lift up a shout to the Lord.
So you're a philosopher? Yes, 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 yes. I think very deeply.
I need just a little more Jesus. I need just a little more Jesus.
Sheldon, Sheldon, start up the mic then. We start up the mic them now. Sheldon, start up the mic then. We are gonna crank up the mic them now.
Community that we have to take care of. We have kids that are depending on us. I call them my scholars, I call them my future leaders because that's what they are. And I let them know, don't forget about where you were raised. Be proud of where you come from and give back. It seems more family in Riverview Gardens. It would just be wonderful to get some people to get some of those jobs and help us get these scholars where they need to be. There's a new view on the horizon where learning is required.
Kingdom alignment on assignment for the king. Hope you're ready for the show. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go for a ride. Got my specs on my side. She's my forever bride that keeps up alive. I'ma rev it up, so hold on tight. We bout to level up. Catch us on the turnpike from city to city, state to state. coast to coast, man. Make no mistake, we are conquerors. Yeah, more than conquerors.
Y'all make sure y'all check out the Retro Philosophy Show on YouTube with my man Retro. Like, subscribe, comment, share, copy the link, put it on Instagram in your bio, put it on your Facebook page. Send it to your mama, text it to somebody. But y'all make sure y'all follow this page, Retro Philosophy.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lonnie Dottie York. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to one and all. Yeah, I mean, it's Monday morning. It's Monday morning, and you better believe it's Monday. Life is life, and Monday is Monday. And man, I'm just how you doing, though, man? Let's get that on the bottom. We got you. Okay. Just want to remind everybody that even though it's Monday, you still got to get up and make it do what it do, man. And man, I tell you, man, you got to hustle in life, man. If you're gonna see anything happen, I don't know about you. I know some of you guys are a little bit more educated and more learned than I am, but I am proud to say that I went to the prestigious University of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, sitting on a fence trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's where I got my hustle ability from. And it all began on Clifton Avenue at the tender age of about maybe 7 or 8 years old. True story. We had a neighborhood store named Knox Market or something like that. It was on the corner of Knox Street and some other street right there. And as kids, we would go over there and we would get penny candy. I don't know if any of y'all remember penny candy. Man, I'm going back, man. I'm going back on y'all, man. Maxwell, good morning, sir. We got Maxwell in the building. We got C1s in the building. Says good morning to all. Thank you so much, man, for speaking when you come into the room. They mamas raised them right. They mamas raised them right. Yeah. They speak when they come into the room. So God bless you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining the Retro Philosophy Show. Two very important subscribers here on the YouTube channel here on the Retro Philosophy Show. Had the pleasure of meeting and riding with both of these gentlemen. Well, actually, me and Two Willing, we haven't rode yet. We met, but we didn't get to ride yet. But that we will be doing real soon. But two stand-up brethren right here, brothers and sisters. I mean to tell you, let's make some noise for these gentlemen. So again, we want to thank you for joining the Retro Philosophy Show. Today, we're talking about the dangers of quitting. Levita Jones is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise for this beautiful young lady. Thank you for making the Retro Philosophy Show a part of your morning on today. So I've been watch this, y'all. I want to hear from you guys, man. What is your take on hustle? I know there are negative connotations that could be attached to it. But when a man or woman has integrity, my goodness, man, it's just a whole nother ball game. Blessed to see another year of life yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a problem with Maxwell because he didn't tell me it was his birthday on yesterday, so I could have wished him a happy birthday on his official birthday. So let me see if I got something for Maxwell. Happy birthday. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and angels, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, join in and help me wish my man Maxwell a happy birthday. He's blessed to see another year of life on yesterday. So we got something else in common. Yeah, we got something else in common. We both share the birth month of December. And now that I'm saying that, I do recall us sharing that information. We were both born in December. So my apologies, sir, but happy belated birthday to you, brother. Once again, everybody join in. Let's make some noise. Yeah. And let's wish my man Maxwell a happy birthday. Yeah. This is for you, Maxwell. Happy birthday, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll be riding real soon. My man Maxwell will be coming down for Genesis ride on January 1st. If anyone else is interested in joining us for such a good ride, just reach out to the boy, yours truly, and we will give you all the information. We'll be sharing it later on in the show again as well. But you daggone Skippy, you bet your bottom dollar we're gonna be riding together real soon. 2024, ladies and gentlemen, if God be my help, as my country folk would say. How do they say it? Let me see. If the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. There we go. That's it. That's it, boy. Yes, sir. Gotta love those country sayings, man. But if the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise, we will be getting together to ride real soon. Terrence Darling is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He says, happy birthday, Maxwell. So again, we want to appreciate everybody for joining us on this morning. Today, we are going to talk about the dangers of quitting. Many of us have gotten to a place in our lives where we have felt like quitting, and truth of the matter is, some of us have literally quit. I'm a be honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't have a problem with you quitting because I've quit once or twice too, but I got back up. Yeah, I got back up. I had a gym teacher tell me one time I was young, and it changed my life. See, we think that things that change our life has to be beautiful things and welcome things, but sometimes it's things that irritate you. Sometimes it's things that rub you the wrong way. However, it was necessary and needed, and as a result, it changes our lives. And so, my gym teacher, Mr. Fiore, he was a big old dude, and I had joined the wrestling team, and I got mad about something I don't know, and I quit. I quit the wrestling team, um, and he pulls me aside, and he's giving me the speech. He's giving me the spiel. He's giving me the lecture. And at some point in that conversation, he says, "You're a good kid, but you quit everything you try," or something along that line. And I never forget that. And it affected me, but it affected me in a good sense. And so from there, I realized that quitting cannot be the answer to everything. And some of us, we get hurt, we get mad, it gets tough, it gets difficult, and we just forget it, I quit. But quitting is not the answer, folks. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we go on. Um, when I was young, as I said, I was living on Clifton Avenue, and there was a little corner store. We would frequent that store every day. Every time we would get a little extra change, we'd run over to the Knox, get some fitty candy. We come in a little brown bag. You can go in there with a quarter and get 25 pieces of candy. Some gum, 5 pieces of gum, 7 pieces of licorice. Three pieces of that, and Mr. His name wasn't Knox. I can't remember what his name was. I can literally see him right now. He passed on, and his daughters continued to run the store, and I would go to that store every chance I got, and it caused something to come alive in me, a dream, a hope, a desire, a goal, and I wanted to have a store like that for some reason, and it wasn't so much the fact that it was a store. I think the reason why at that age I desired to have that was because of what it represented. It represented community. It represented success. It represented love. It represented so many things. That little store, it represented so many things. And so, with that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to understand one of the dangers in quitting is that your success is not your success alone. In other words, someone else's success is tied up in your success. And the enemy sometimes comes after you because if he can stop you, they will never exist. Yeah, yeah. If he can stop you, your son may never see what it looks like to be a man and persevere through difficult situations. Let's talk about that for a moment. My son is 26 years old now, and he's a grown man. He's a very accomplished young man. I'm proud of him, and there were times in our relationship where I questioned if what I was saying was even getting through. There were moments when I questioned if, the things that I was saying, was he even listening? The things that I was doing, was he seeing? Was he taking note? And it was discouraging sometimes because what happened was I was a superhero. Yeah, I was a superhero, ladies and gentlemen. And I couldn't leave the house without him crying to come along and things of that nature. And come on, boy, let's go. Come on, son, let's go. But then I remember one day I got ready to leave the house and he didn't want to go. He had gotten to that age where it was like, and it seemed like it happened overnight, folks. where I went from a hero to a zero. He's now in grade school. I think he might have been about maybe 12 years old. I think it started to happen right around that time, and it was weird because he no longer wanted to tag along. And I went from a hero to a zero. Nothing I said seemed to make sense to him, and it was just very discouraging as a father, right? And so now I've got to work through this phase of his life and my life. I tell people all the time, and maybe this will help somebody who's struggling with their child or their children. We parent our children in different phases. Y'all not hear me. Now, when that child becomes 12 years old, you can't deal with him the same way you dealt with him when he was 6 years old. I'm just saying, your parenting approach, style, and all that stuff, it has to change, for lack of better words. It's got to evolve at least, because that 12-year-old is no longer the 6-year-old. And for me, as my children grew older, good morning, Tank. How you doing, sir? Thank you for pressing play and joining the conversation on this morning. Telephone number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Okay, and so if you want to join in the conversation, I'm pulling up the app right now. Bada boom, bada bang. So it's live. So you're welcome to call in if you would like. Also, let's make some noise. The 2024 Titan of the Year. Yeah, 2024 Titan of the Year, Iron Elite Titan Award recipient, the one and only Shaquilla Bussey. You're not really great until you make someone else great based on what I see in you. And look at here, sister girl. That is absolutely correcto mundo. Yeah, you see, you did something great, but you ain't great. See, what you do and who you are two different things, and you ain't great until you have made somebody else great. Let me say it to you this way, folks. And I've been on this spiel for a minute here. I'm probably going to lose track of what I was saying. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest YouTubers has entered the building. Let's make some official noise, because this brother here is he's a don. I don't know if y'all know what a don is, but my man Ricky Henry is in the building, aka GQ. He says, "Good morning, everybody." Can nobody narrate a video like Mr. Ricky Henry? I mean, the dude is just simply amazing, man. And then he draws and paints, and man, what do you not do, man? I mean, what does GQ not do? I mean, but anyway, what's up, Mr. GQ? How you doing, man? Thank you for joining the Retro Philosophy Show. Let's see here. Terrence Darling said, "That's facts." Yeah, facts all day long. Facts all day long. GQ is definitely a great one. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, I'm gonna get back to the quote that Shaquilla prompted me to make. Just hold on with me one second. My dog is going crazy. Must be somebody at the front door. But anyway. So we have to. He said, "Man, stop." Thank you. You're welcome, sir. We have to be able, GQ, and those that are watching, to recognize the greats. Now, see, we got the greats, then we got the upcoming greats, we got the soon to be greats. The Bible says he called the young because they're strong and the old because they know the way. So if you are a great and you're not making way for the next great, then you ain't great. You trying to be great, but you ain't. Okay, let me try to stick to the script, but there is no script on the Retro Philosophy Show. Yeah, there you go, Terrence. Peace Army in the building. That's it right there. GQ dropping jewels and laughter in his videos. Yeah. That part right there. And number one, my game is to always recognize greatness. Yeah. Even in its rare form, even in its beginning form. You understand what I'm saying? So let me get to my quote, okay? Leaders lead. How many of you guys have heard me say this before? I say it at church all the time because I'm trying to teach my way out of a job. I'm trying to inspire myself out of a position. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you're not quotable, then you ain't doing it right. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, my man Kodak, the ground pounder, is in the building. The most hated, but he is fastly gaining company in that hated status. I'm gonna leave that alone though. Good morning, Kodak, sir. How are you doing, man? Man right here is greatly appreciated by me. A voice of reasoning, voice of wisdom, and in my opinion, a true OG. Yeah, OG means one who offers guidance. Yeah. That's what Kodak says an OG is, and he fits that description. So let's make some noise for Kodak the Ground Pounder. You gotta have people that you can reach out to, folk. No man is an island unto himself, and that's the problem. We become islands unto to ourselves, and we come up with all kind of crazy logics, and we do all kind of crazy things, and I'm the kind of gentleman who likes to have a sounding board from time to time to see if maybe I done bumped my head. The wannabe greats. There you go, right there. That part. So leaders lead. Good leaders inspire. Great leaders attract other leaders. But exceptional leaders know when to step aside. Let's talk about the great and the exceptional. Too many people suppress the greatness of the younger generation for fear their light will be dimmed. Sad but true. Listen to me, brother. When I tell you, you just hit it on the head. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for GQ. Not only a man of many talents, but also obviously a man of wisdom. But real talk, folks, what is going on? And good leadership don't mind listening. That part too, because a leader is put there. A leader is put in place and position to nourish other leaders, right? But he also has to listen. Listen to me now. Do I have any educators on the line? I believe GQ is an educator. I know my wife is an educator. I know we got Most Wanted is an educator, and I've done some educating as well. Maybe not on a professional level, but I've been a Sunday school teacher. Okay, and good Lord, I'm okay. All right, but here's the point that I want to make. As a Sunday school teacher, I spent many a days and nights prepping and preparing my lesson for Sunday morning to teach my pupils, to teach my students, right? But I found out in me teaching them, I learned from them. And if you are a leader that cannot learn from your people, then you are doing your people an injustice, even if it's nothing but learning how to lead them better. And you can't learn how to lead them better if you're not listening to their cry. Let me say it like this. I have this thing, and it's a play on words. It is indeed a play on words. Shaquila says facts. GQ's platform is solid and enjoyed. It is indeed. It is indeed. And we definitely appreciate him because he brings. Listen to me now. Y'all can say what you want, but there are a lot of content creators right now that are sitting down, biting their fingernails, and hating because of the way he does what he does. And what they should be doing is taking notes. And because real talk, if he can do it, they can do it. Now you might not have his swag. Nobody's gonna have his swag, just like my fingerprint, nobody else has it. My DNA, nobody else has it. My children share my DNA, but they don't have my DNA. We are all distinctively different and intentionally. But anyway, we've got to listen to those we are leading. Otherwise, it affects our leadership. Let me say this, and you guys have probably heard this quote as well. If your leadership cannot be questioned, then your leadership is questionable. I've been put out because I ask questions. I've been ostracized because I ask questions. I've been blackballed because I ask questions. I mean, that's not my intent. I just need some information because how can I stand on what I don't understand? So if I'm asking, I'm not, and see, that's the problem with weak leadership. They think because you bring up a question that they can't adequately answer, that your intent was to challenge them. Nah, bro, I just think a little different than you do. This is not a challenge. Listen to me, man. One thing I know how to do and don't mind doing is follow. But in order for me to follow, you see, when I say follow, that doesn't mean just I'm walking behind you. That means I'm undergirding you. I'm doing what's necessary to make you look good and to make sure your vision comes to pass and is played out. But in order for me to adequately and effectively do that, then I've got to have understanding of your vision. And some folks are out front and don't even have a vision. Without a vision, the people what? All right, I know I got some Bible readers out there somewhere. Without a vision, the people perish. We got Levi Johnson in the building. What's going on, Mr. Levi? I taught many people the business and my trade, and I taught myself on the way. There you go, that part right there. That part right there. See, you cannot teach someone without learning yourself. Because when I was prepping and preparing for my Sunday school lesson, I'm trying to teach them, but I'm gaining as I'm prepping to teach them. So it's really a two-way thing. And it's unfortunate that so many of us have experienced bad experiences at the hand of bad leadership. Now, see, now you got to hear me good. Let's see here. You got to prove yourself on the floor before you get on the pedestal as a leader. That part right there. That part right there. Because in order to lead effectively, you got to know what it feels like to follow. You got to know what it feels to be in the trenches, et cetera, et cetera. Terrence Darling, you have to stand for something or you will fall over anything. I agree with that. I agree with that as well, brother. I've been pastoring Upper Praise Ministries for the past 15 years. We just celebrated 15 years back in October. And there was a time when I got a little discouraged. I lost sight because I was looking too much at this one and that one, and trying to redefine, or I should say, I was looking at this one and that one, and it tarnished my vision of what success really was. Anyway, me and God have this long conversation, and he's checking me. He's chastising me a little bit, and in the process, he takes me back to the vision statement, which is what he gave me to begin with for the ministry. And as we're going through the vision statement line by line, he was asking me, "Are you doing that? Is this happening?" Yes, yes, yes. He said, "And keep doing what I told you to do." And so I understand now that if you don't know what God is saying, keep doing what he said. It goes back to what Terrence Darling said. You got to stand for something or you'll fall over anything. And so if you don't know what to do right now, keep doing what he said. Until God says otherwise, just stay true to what he's already told you to do. Let's see here. Great leaders understand how to differentiate. Hold on one second here. How to differentiate without treating, and there you go, right there. Without treating anyone and everyone differently. And my mother was a great example of that. It was four of us growing up, me and my three siblings, and my mother had this. She had this ability to make each one of us feel like we were her favorite. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, she showed no respecter of children or a child or whatever, however you want to say it. But at the same time, well, I know I was her favorite. We just gonna keep it a stack. I know I was her favorite, but I'm saying, man, my mother, she did that so well. And I think as a good leader, Mr. Henry, you're correct. You've got to understand how to differentiate without treating anyone differently. Um, and so I don't know what's going on. With leadership, and that wasn't the intent this morning to talk about. However, there has been leaders that have caused many a great upcoming leaders to quit. And so most of my experience as it relates to leadership has been experienced in the church. Now, I have experienced a lot of leadership out in the world, but that was many moons ago. And the devil is a greater leader than most church folk is. You know why? Because the devil understands how important it is to have multiple lieutenants. The devil understands how important it is to have troops lined up ready to go on the fly. Whereas the church, we want to heap all the authority and power unto ourselves. There are some preachers, and this ain't a preacher bashing service or show, but there are some preachers, if they not gonna be in church Sunday morning, they shut service down. Are you serious? The show must go on. One monkey don't stop the show. And so, as a pastor, as a leader, the show must go on. We were just starting our motorcycle ministry, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, right? And it just so happened that my wife and I had already scheduled our cross country trip, and then the movement of the motorcycle ministry was in the works, and everything just seemed to be coming to a head right at the same time, right? So we get the motorcycle ministry off the floor. We're going. We're established, and we're doing what we can to situate ourselves for growth. And come January 1 is when we do our Kingdom Alignment Genesis ride. And so my VP, shout out to Lowrider, he says, "Well, Retro," he says, "since you guys are gonna be, on your cross country trip, man, we're just gonna have to postpone the Genesis ride. We'll just, we'll cancel it. I said, no, sir, we will not. I said, you are capable and you will do this in our absence. And, unfortunately, we'll miss it, but the show must go on. It doesn't evolve around me. And so Lowrider has taken the lead with the Genesis ride since its inception, and he has done an excellent job. He chooses the route. He maps out the route. Once he finds the route, he'll then hit me up, and me and him and our road captain. Shout out to Black Ops, and maybe a couple other team members. We'll just go and do a dry run, if you will, just to check out the route, so we can know where we might need to pay closer attention when we got others doing it with us, and so on and so forth. But he does an excellent job. He does an excellent job. And so it is important, leaders. I don't know how many leaders are watching with me, but it's important that you not just lead people, but you also offer them, afford them, give them the space to practice what you've been instilling, teaching, and to them. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. So let's see here. So you got great leaders, and great leaders attract other leaders. Now, you guys have heard me talk about a gentleman by the name of Samuel Bass, and we spoke not too long ago, and he's a great man. I've always viewed him as a great man, and in my eyes, he's a great man because he has experience, he has understanding, he has passion, he has love. He has all those things and even more. He also has some rage if you got. See, y'all. I'm gonna leave it alone. But Samuel Bass, man, he's a force to be reckoned with. And I, he and I crossed paths many years ago while I was in my angry stage as a young black man. Full of confusion, full of hate, full of so many other things. And this gentleman began to mentor me. And it was life changing. It was life changing. But what I'm saying. Sheila Bussy, also true, but what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that great leaders attract other leaders. If you are a leader, you cannot shun, you cannot try to strip, and you could not try to silence those leaders who you are attracted. They're attracted to you because you yourself are a great leader. Now, if you want to move from great to exceptional, then you got to understand when it's time to pass the baton. Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you. My son and I run a business together. It's called McLord Trucking. McLord Trucking and Hauling. We now have McLord Junk Removal. And my son handles a bulk of the decision making. Number one, it was his passion. I'm only in it because of his passion. I was barbering, doing cosmetology, retired from that, sold off the business and everything. And I'm just sitting back, chilling, wanting to ride my bike and just work when I want to work, had a little landscaping business. I'm just doing my little thing, but I see the passion in my son for this trucking. He was about maybe 19, 20 years old. And yeah, he's about maybe 19, 20 years old. And he's like, Dad, I want to get my own truck. He was working for a company locally here, getting good hours, making good money. And he says, Pop, I want to get my own truck. And he said, before the year is over, I got to have my own truck. He's looking and he's sending me things. I don't know nothing about these big trucks. I mean, and every time I turn around, my phone blowing up. He's showing me this, he's showing me that. And I'm like, this boy is really passionate about this stuff, So I began to listen and pay a little bit more attention. And then I began to watch him and how he talked, and he became so knowledgeable about his field, and it amazed me. And it made me proud, And so what I'm saying is, I instilled, oh, thank you, Kodak. I try my best, man. I try my best. Now this little boy, he grew up in the shop, he grew up seeing his father and mother hustle. Hold on for a second, y'all. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. You don't know, you better ask him. And so this is all my son seeing, right? And so when he got to the point where he wanted to exercise what he had saw displayed in front of him, then I had to give space and allow him. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we can stunt our children or those we are leading. I mean, and you can't afford to do that. Exceptional leaders know when to step aside. And so there were times when he came to me for answers. I said, son, you got this. You tell me what you think. you know. And so it was a time where I had to not so much teach him because he had already been taught to be a boss. I mean, it's just in his DNA. He's a boss. And if I continue to try to boss a boss, then I can stunt his progress. And so we got to a point where I had to begin to let him know, look, son, you got this. And so most of the time I just listen, I offer a little commentary when necessary or whatever, but he got this. He called me, hey, Pops, we got this job coming up. And what you said? I said, whatever you say, son. You think that's good? All right, let's roll with it. I'm good. If that's what you say, that's it. Let's do it. Now there are times when I'd say, wait, hold on, man. There you go, Terrence. Hustle with integrity. Hustle with integrity. And that means sometimes you're going to take a loss. hmm We had a situation just the other day, because we are men of integrity, we can't handle things the way some people handle things, and people think they're getting over on you, but they're not. They're damning themselves, because we're going to continue to hustle, and we're going to hustle with integrity. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. It's your loss, not mine. You got over, but you ain't getting by. My school has the people in place to run without me because I've empowered them to do it. And that's the goal. Both Moto Mob locations run without my presence. Matter of fact, they don't even call me unless it's an emergency. That part right there. That part right there. And if I know Shaquila, I'm going to go out on a limb to say that happened without her even really trying to make it happen. It just happened. And the reason why I say that is because when you have an exceptional leader, they know when to step aside and allow those who they have trained, empowered, and all those fancy words begin to rise to the surface and do what they're called to do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how he benefits. He called the young because they're strong and the old because they know the way. So shout out to Shaquila Bussey and all the other bosses in the building on this morning. But listen now. And in the midst of our hustle, make sure we always hustle with integrity. Another reason why we have to hustle with integrity is because someone is always watching. I had a situation many years ago where there were some young cats that was watching me and a couple of my homies. I knew they saw us, but I didn't know they were watching us. And see, sometimes people are watching you when they're studying you, and they will try to mimic, they will try to duplicate what you do and not have a full understanding of what you do. And if they think they have an understanding of what you do, they may not have an understanding of why you do what you do. Hit the replay and play that again, because it'll sink in a little bit later. And so as a result, these young brothers begin to do some things that was like really ridiculous. And by the time I found out about it, I was hurt and I was heavy because I felt like I sowed seed into a bad movement. And by that time it wasn't a whole lot that I could do. But I say that to say, be very careful, be very cognitive of what you do and why you do what you do, because someone is always watching. The last thing you want somebody to say to you, where my church folk at? I thought you was a preacher. I thought you was a pastor. I thought you was a Christian. What that really is a slap in your face. And what they're saying is, you really ain't living on the uppity up. You come on now, toe the line and straighten up. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. So we don't have the luxury of just doing what we want to do, but we got to do what we got to do. So anyway, let's see here. So we're gonna hustle with integrity, ladies and gentlemen. And so yeah, so shout out to McLord Trucking and the building. If you're in the North Carolina area or beyond, because it's the money, right? We come to you. Our slogan, our logo is, if you call, we'll haul. You better believe it, man. You better believe it. I'm trying to find the graphic real quick and throw up a quick a shameless plug for the business. I'm having some problems here with my thingamajiggy. Let's see here. Let me get back to the topic here in just a minute. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what is your take on leadership? I don't know if you're willing in the comment section or via the phone line to share some leadership experiences that you have had in your life. Again, back to Samuel Bass, man, and there were others that came after him. And that's another thing that we've got to understand. No one man or woman is the end all to your mentorship or to you being mentored. All right. I've had very, very few mentors in the church, and that's sad to say. I mean, real talk. I could probably say maybe two, and I've been saved for a long time. But again, it goes back to leaders, good leaders, great leaders, and exceptional leaders. As an exceptional leader, I'm trying to lead in such a way that I'm preparing to step aside. Yeah, I'm preparing to step aside. There's a difference between a good leader and great leadership, and not every good leader understands good leadership. I'm just saying. Think about it for a moment. Yeah, they can come up with a plan, they can execute the plan, but you may become collateral damage in them going from beginning to their place of success. A good leader, if not careful, may make it all about them and not about you. Yeah. A good leader sometimes can even make you a lazy learner because they get so much pride, enjoyment, and satisfaction and gratification out of wooing the crowds, but not pushing the crowds. Jesus didn't woo the crowds, he moved the crowds. They said on some occasions, on one occasion in particular, did not our hearts burn within us when he spoke to us from the scriptures? Yeah. Don't woo the crowds, move the crowds. Yeah. You may not be liked because, as I said earlier, when my gym teacher broke me off with that statement, it was kind of hard to swallow. But the reality is there was truth in it. And some of us were not growing, and some of us are not going on to become exceptional leaders because we'll go back to what Levi Johnson said earlier. He said, good leaders have to know how to listen too. Yeah. And so when your people begin to complain, you got to listen. Maybe they're not complaining to you because they know you won't listen. So it's senseless to come to you with their issues because they know you ain't gonna do nothing because you too stuck on yourself. You still stuck on the vision that you fail to understand the people are falling by the wayside. What good is it for you to get to the other side? What good is it for you get to good for you to get to the place of success and you stand there by yourself? If you have accomplished success and you don't have folks that can genuinely share it with it, then you are not successful. You are a failure. Yeah, you got $8 million in your bank account, 4 houses on the same, 20-acre plot. I don't know. You're filthy rich, but money does not equate to success. You got everything your heart could desire, but you got nothing you need. Your kids don't want nothing to do with you. Your wife only there because she want to keep up her lifestyle. And she probably got a sugar daddy on the side, and come on now. You're lonely at Christmas. Don't nobody come by for Thanksgiving. You ain't successful. You got a bunch of money. You just a rich failure. You got a pretty bike, but come on, man. I mean, the Bible asks the question, what profit a man that gain the whole world and lose his soul? Sometimes you got to be wrong to be right. What I mean by that is it can't be your way all the time. Talk about my way or the highway. That's bad leadership. That is horrible leadership. Now, I don't claim to be the best leader, but I'm striving for perfection. I made a statement this morning. I'm perfectly okay with the process of perfection, knowing I'll never be perfect. Yeah, I'm okay with that, ladies and gentlemen. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with the fact that you'll never be perfect? See, some of us, because we understand we'll never be perfect, we just stop altogether. And that's no. It's a process. You're perfecting perfection, but you'll never be perfect. Perfecting perfection means that you are getting more acquainted and you're getting more used to and you're accepting and allowing the process of perfection. Yeah, that means, see, perfection is a process, right? And so let's say it this way. The Bible says tribulation worketh patience, patience experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, right? So I understand that this tribulation is working a far more exceeding weight of glory on my behalf, right? So I have to become, I don't know if I want to say comfortable, but I do. I'll say it this way. I have to become content in the persecution. I have to become content in the tribulation. because it's working for me. All right. And so when I become content, and we talked about this the other day, godliness with contentment is great gain. Some of us are not gaining because we have not yet become content. We have not yet humbled ourselves to allow the process to be completed. I ain't mean to have Bible study or preach or nothing like that. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, everybody, including make some noise for my brother JJ Aguilera. We need to remember everyone that comes in your life is sometimes for a season. It's okay to let go of what God is trying to. Now that right there is that's some heavy stuff, JJ. I don't know if the West, I don't know if the East Coast is ready for. I don't know if the South, the West Coast obviously got it, but listen to me, that's some heavy stuff right there. And when they begin to walk out, sometimes you just gotta let them. Can you imagine what would have happened if what was his name? I'm drawing blank here. Gideon. Thank you, Lord. Gideon. Remember Gideon? For those of you who do not know, Gideon was a man in the Bible who had a very strong army. Well, I better wheel that back in. He had a very large army. Just see, size does not always equate to strength. Some of y'all outdo folks in numbers, but you can't touch them in quality. I better keep it moving. I don't want to seem as though I'm being messy or anything like that. Gideon had, I think it was upwards of 3,000 men in his army. And God says, Gideon, you got too many. He says, here's what I need. And he says, what do you mean I got too many? You know, God said, tell all those that are fearful and afraid to go home now. And he lost half his army. Yeah, they then took him down to the brook, and God put another test to them. Story of the moral of the story is Gideon went from 3,000 to just a fraction. He was left with about 300 men, and with those 300 men, he won the battle that they were going into. And some of us, until we shed some some people and some things, will never be able to win the battle. So you see, it's not done in numbers, but it's done by his strength, by his power, by his anointing, by his guidance, by the Lord Jesus Christ himself. And so stop taking refuge in your numbers and understand that sometimes you've got to prune the tree in order to produce fruit. So when God removes these people, don't get bitter with them, with God. Don't attack your own, well, maybe I'm not a good leader. No, the devil is a lie. It ain't you. It's just a process. It's just a process. So when these people begin to walk out your life, let them. When they kick you out of their life, let it be. I mean, it is what it is. A bad experience is sometimes a good lesson learned, even with a bad pastor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I've had some bad experiences, but those bad experiences are the ones that afforded me the greatest life lessons I've ever learned. Listen to me, folks. When I tell you some of the things that I still preach on and teach from and out of to this day was not so much out of the good times, it was out of the difficult moments of life. I preached a sermon series last year, I think it was, or maybe early this year. I effed up. Yeah, that was a sermon series. I effed up because here's the deal. Here's the premises of it, or the and what do you call it? The Cliff Notes version of it. The enemy presents us with a thing called failure, right? But if you learn from a failure, then it is no longer a failure, but it has become a learning experience. So it can no longer be categorized as a failure. Y'all better hear me. It is a learning experience. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, we have a caller on the line this morning. Good morning, caller. How are you doing? Let me see if I can get you tuned up here, sir. All right, let me hear you say something. All right, hold on one more second. I want to get you to that way. We make sure we got your audio coming through so that the viewers can hear you properly. Okay, so just bear with me 1 second. Let me do this. Let me go here. Go here. And where's my thing here? Okay. All right, talk to me, GQ. Good morning, brother.
How you doing?
Man, we're doing good, man. We appreciate you calling into the Retro Philosophy Show on today, man. What's on your mind?
for me personally and for the motorcycle community, you are a leader. How to people say nowadays that things is all different. Person that can definitely appreciate that. Um, People think that leaders have to have some type of big personality or some type of bravado, but the best leaders can lead without really saying much.
Mm.
So I just wanted to give you your flowers in regard to that, brother. I appreciate you for doing what you're doing with your platform. I wanted to tap in and talk about something that you were talking about earlier.
Uh-huh.
How some leaders can cause future leaders to um, leave or just get discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of leaders in general, people, the old guard, as they say, are fearful, as I said in my post, of being overtaken or having their light dimmed by someone who is up and coming, someone who has new and fresh different ideas. And to piggyback up what you said, I'm a person as well who likes to question, not to be combative, but I like to question because I am seeking to understand.
That part.
I'm not questioning you just to respond. I'm not questioning you to make a fuss of anything, but I'm truly trying to gauge and understand each and everything that's being presented toward me, so I can better make a better decision for not only myself but the organization that I'm a part of.
Right.
A lot of leaders take that as a sign of talent,
Mm-hmm.
a sign of aggression, and that's not the case a lot of the time. Great leaders understand that they can see greatness in people outside of themselves. And so you don't have to worry about if you're a great leader, you don't have to worry about someone overtaking you or someone usurping you, because that great leader will recognize you and appoint you,
Right.
and elevate you, and allow you to bask in your greatness and allow your greatness to shine to elevate everyone around you. You know what I'm saying? But too often times, it's a roadblock here. It's I don't think this there without any particular reason or why. It's just people want to just stifle you just for the sake of being stifled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that fear of getting off of that perch or not wearing that leader patch, as
Right.
they say, it makes them, it diminishes them in some kind of way. They feel like their imports will be the best. That's not necessarily the case. And I think that me being in the motorcycle quote unquote community, I've sat back and I've watched a lot of things. There are people who want to come in this thing, want to hit the ground, run in, and they have such ambition, they have such passion, and a lot of people really say, "Oh, you're doing."
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I was doing too much, maybe you're just not doing enough.
Oh, come on now. Oh.
I'm just saying, maybe you're not doing enough, because if a person will really sit up there and tell someone that, that's the moment for you to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, this guy is, bringing this idea to play. He's going here, he's doing this, and okay, what can I do to support this person?
Right.
What can I do to allow? What can I do to support him or her in the manner in which manifest all of the dreams and ideas that this person is bringing forward? You know what I'm saying? The best leaders can get the best out of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Listen and allow them to work in the way that they need to work. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too all up in it, but I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in my former club, which I have nothing but love and respect for those guys. We still
Right.
have a great relationship. But I was approached by a couple of members. I was at the bike night, and they were saying, "Hey, man, it just wasn't your time at that time when you were here with us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see what you were trying to do. We didn't understand." And I was like, I get it, but I think it was more so a lot of people didn't want to understand.
That part.
They thought it was the GQ is he's being combative, but GQ is talking about this, or GQ wants to do that, and it's like, nah, GQ is just he's bringing ideas.
Right.
GQ is just trying to make sure that we are all elevated, because anything that I'm a part of, I want it to be the best, the biggest, and the greatest.
That part.
I don't do mediocrity, and I don't settle for mediocrity. And if there is, stagnation, then nobody benefits from that.
No, not at all.
Nobody benefits from that. We are all lifelong learners, and we should be lifelong learners, allowing that spirit of growth mindset to permeate with all members in your organization. But I'm gonna get off, man. I'm heading into work, man. I just want to say, man, brother, I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to come on the platform and talk with you for a minute, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, big brother.
Hey, man, we certainly appreciate you, man. You keep on doing your thing, man. And man, keep up the good work, brother. Keep up the good work. All right, man. You have a blessed day. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Very well spoken. As we know, GQ is a very articulate young man. And but what he is articulating is not something from a textbook. What he's articulating is something from experience. It's obvious. And so we wish him nothing but the best. We've been following him for a while. And the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. So, ladies and gentlemen, what has been your experience with leadership? We're not gonna, hijack you all day long, but again, the phone lines is open or are open. Should you decide or desire to call in and share your experience or whatever, 980-222-4492. Yeah, Terrence, absolutely, very well spoken. Very well spoken. Small-minded people can never receive greatness. Small-minded people like the benefits of greatness, but they can never receive greatness. In other words, small-minded people want you to bring your money home, but they don't want to go to work and help you make the money. Small-minded people, small-minded people hold on to $5, not realizing if they release it, it'll bring them back 500. Yeah, they're just small-minded. They wanna maintain control over something that's stagnant when they can release it and get something that's living, fresh water, But they're so busy trying to hold on to something that's ultimately gonna kill them. You keep drinking stagnated water, you're gonna have some parasites that's gonna mess around and kill you. There's a lot of parasitic people out there as it is, but we're gonna leave that alone because we don't want to sound, yeah. But anyway, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The dangers of quitting. Okay, the dangers of quitting. We cannot afford to quit because there are other people who are. Yeah, it's this thing on. There are other people who are dependent on. See, it's not even so much your success. Success is great, and we want you to be successful. But there are some people that are more dependent on your failing and getting back up. Yeah. See, because you can learn success from a textbook. See, that's the thing with YouTube. YouTube sometimes is just enough information to get you in trouble. I'm talking specifically as it relates to doing certain repairs because, YouTube is a go-to. How to, how do I change rear brakes? How do I change rear tire? How do I? And you go to YouTube and you got some folks that they'll be, they'll say, oh yeah, you got to remove this, you got to do this, you got to do that. But they don't show all the times they failed in their first attempt. So all you see is how to do it, but you're not made aware of what to look out for. You're not made aware of the fact that, this bolt is up behind the rear shock. So you got to have a special tool. And so you go in there with a regular ratchet and mess around and strip it. Now you got a whole big problem. And they don't show you all the failure parts. They just want to show you the finished product. And sometimes showing people the finished product is just enough to get them in trouble. You got to learn to show people your scars. You got to learn. The Bible says in the book of Revelation, they were overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of their testimony. So I need to see. That's why. Look here, your boy Retro. Sometimes I lose my cool, and some of y'all have saw some of my shows and be like, "Ooh, what's going on with Retro? You know, something must be. You know, yeah, I lost my cool for a second. They pulled me out of my zone. I'm human, but I don't have a problem getting back up and say, yo, I apologize if I said something off, because that's what men do. My son and I were just having a conversation just yesterday, and I'm saying, son, as a man, you got to lead. And leading is not just, banging your fists, but leading is setting the example, even when you are right and they want you to believe that you're wrong. So anyway, I ain't mean to go all there and everything, but we've got to be willing to show people the difficult things as well. Shaquilla Bussey says this all the time. She always talks about it, going cross country and we get on there with our little GoPros and our little cameras, and we doing a snapshot by the water, and we doing a snapshot by the mountains, and we doing a snapshot here and there. But what about the time when your tire went flat on the side of the road? What about the time when your what you call it fell off, your shifter fell off, and this? That? What about the time when you got dehydrated and almost couldn't make it, and all that stuff? Those are the things that need to be shared so that people can watch out for those pitfalls. And life is not always knowing what to do, but sometimes it's knowing what not to do. Okay, and sometimes we've got to just let go. Look here, man. I really appreciate you guys' participation on this morning. Hopefully, something was said to inspire, to help, to uplift, to edify, to direct, or something. We don't plan on getting up here in the mornings just to hear ourselves talk, but we get up here in the morning sometimes because I'm working through stuff my doggone self. Uh-huh. And I worked with a gentleman one time, and he says, "Say it out loud. If it sounds stupid, it probably is." It may be funny, but it makes so much sense when you really think about it. And some of us need that outlet where we can talk and we talk out some things and talk through some things. Tank I need to see the whole process. And the process, you see the true work, not the finished work. That part right there. Yeah, that part right there. You know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, let's go ahead and end this thing this way. This is retro sound advice for today. The danger in quitting, ladies and gentlemen, is that you may establish habits of quitting other things. So don't. I know it's difficult. I know it's rough, but don't quit. See that thing through. See it through. Now, my gym teacher told me, you're a good kid, but you quit everything. And so now, years later, my son is playing soccer or something he was playing, and he wanted to quit. He was mad. And I said, no, son, you can't quit. I said, I understand you don't like it. I get this. I get that. And yes, that was wrong, but two wrongs don't make a right. And so I wouldn't let him quit, because I would be doggone if somebody would say the same thing about me that they said about him. So I made sure that he continued and finished it, because I did not want him to establish a habit of quitting. You say, oh, it's just simple, such and such. No, it's not simple. That's what the enemy wants you to think. He's trying to acclimate you to the idea, the thought of quitting, and you cannot quit. I know they're making it difficult for you, but here's what you do. A lot of you guys are motorcycle riders. Don't change gears. Excuse me. Don't change lanes. Just switch gears. Yeah, just switch gears on them, but don't change lanes. Some of us are in organizations that are holding us down. Shift. Because here's what you got to understand. Why stay where you are tolerated when you can be where you're celebrated? Now, when you get to the place where you're celebrated, there's some more underlinings to it too. Make sure you're not only being celebrated for what you bring to the table, but you're being celebrated because of who you are, because of what you represent. If you're walking around here, this is retro sound advice, and you got a patch on your back, as they say, I didn't coin this, but as they say, don't put it on your back if it ain't in your heart. And once you put it on your back, then it doesn't make you a Superman, but you should compliment the patch that you're wearing. You should compliment the organization that you are a part of. So that's retro sound advice for the day. You cannot quit, folks. It may be tough. It may be difficult. You know, I battle with it from time to time myself. I quit the Retro Philosophy Show I don't know how many times, you know, and then when I finally got to the place where I said, you know what, if it's just one that's reached, then it's a success. Jesus left the 99 for the one, and then here comes the devil. Oh, he gonna show up, y'all. He gonna show up. He gonna show up at your workplace. He gonna show up at your house. He gonna show up at the job. He gonna show up. He gonna show up. But don't quit. I'm at a place right now where I'm going to resist the devil and he'll flee. We were reading Exodus the other day, and God told Moses, the enemy you see today, you shall see them again no more forever. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. It's your boy Retro, man. We want to thank you for pressing play. We want to thank GQ for the call in. And you guys, you know, next time we go live, man, you guys feel free to call on in and holler at your boy. But also, we want to welcome you to come and join us for our first ride of the year. First ride of the year, ladies and gentlemen. That takes place on January the 1st. Let me see if I can pull up the graphic real quick. Bada boom, bada bang. Where's it at?
Hashtag press play. It's the Retro Philosophy Show. You know. Let's go.
All right, I don't. Okay, here we go. No, thought I had it. Well, let's do this anyway. I can do it this way, guys. There we go. The Genesis ride, ladies and gentlemen. We really would love for you to come and join us on this ride, man. This is a ride where it won't be 300-400 bikes or anything like that. You know, we do usually have a good number of riders and participants, but it's intended to be a more laid-back ride. For me, and I believe the team, I believe I speak for the team, we intended and we desire a more laid-back experience for the first ride of the year. And this will be our third annual Genesis ride. And, each year has proved to grow a little bit more. We end at a local restaurant for fellowship, recap of the year, and cast vision for the coming year. So if you're in the North Carolina area, or, you know, we just want to come regardless of where you are, then you are certainly more than welcome. It is an open ride, and ride usually lasts for about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and so we're looking forward to having a great time, man. So make sure you guys come and check us out. Last but not least, this thing that you see in the background, the Georgia Four Corners, Lord have mercy, has really stirred up some things in certain households or whatever. We won't go into much detail of that, but I'm just saying, pray for your boy, because you know. But anyway, the GA Four Corners, ladies and gentlemen, we finished that on last weekend. Myself and Levi did that. We've got a few other folks who have registered. We got a FHO edition that'll be launching soon. We got Justice and her crew. Miles on the Go, Said Uncut. You know, we got Maxwell. We got a few people that have registered for the ride. Yes, there is a registration fee, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why I'm charging registration fee is because my intent is to buy myself a brand new Bentley and a 2026 CVO trike. So make sure you pay that $25 registration fee. Because after I pay for the patches, there's going to be enough money for me to buy a Bentley and a house out on the lake. So, yeah, because you know why? I was threatened last night as a result of all of this stuff here, bodily harm threat and all that good stuff. But we are real G, man. So we all good. We all good. So we got the GA Four Corners, ladies and gentlemen. We want you guys to get on board if you desire. We also have, let me see if I can put it up there as well. Bada boom, bada bang, bada boom. And that one and that one. Hey, watch out now. And let's see here. I just talked to somebody. We're getting ready to map out Pennsylvania as well. So we'll be adding Pennsylvania to the list. Of course, we'll wait till the spring/summertime before we head up there, because you going through Pennsylvania, you know, you got some mountainous areas up there. Really beautiful up that way. Really beautiful. We were up there earlier this year. And when we went up there, we was way up there in the mountains, and ooh, rain, man. I mean, I tell you, it rained the whole trip almost. But even in spite of the rain, it was a beautiful ride. So these are the rides that are currently active. Let's see, Alabama. Oh, hold on, wait a minute, Retro. You know you can't leave out. Where's it at? North Carolina. Where's it at? Well, North Carolina is also. Oh, there it is. There. Okay. Bada boom, bada bang. So North Carolina was the first one. We then went and did Georgia. We'll be doing Alabama next, then Virginia, and more than likely, we got Louisiana on deck too as well. We've got that already mapped out. I've got to get that graphic finished, and we'll slap it up here on the next live as well. So if you're interested in doing any of these rides, you can just hit my bio. And in my bio, there are links, as well as the Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry page has links there as well, so that you can register. You do not have to do them when I do them or when we do them. You can do them on your own time, but none of them will go live until we first do it, because we will certify the ride, and then you get to come along and verify the ride. And so we are after what we're calling Mission 448, the 4 corners of the 48 states. I don't know if anybody else has already done that and completed it. I don't know, but that's what we're after. And it's no race. It's just a personal accomplishment that we are after. And in the process, what we're simply trying to do is fulfill our vision statement as a ministry. Okay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is to encourage and nourish a love for motorcycling and a respect for the motorcycle community, while at the same time exemplifying the love of Christ, leading souls to the kingdom 1 mile at a time. God bless you. It's your boy Retro, man. You know we love you, man. Praying for you. If you have any questions, any comments, or even prayer requests, you can hit us up at this email here on the screen, kingdomalignment@gmail.com. Y'all be great, and don't let nobody stop.
Level up, catch us on the turnpike from city to city, state to state, coast to coast, man. Make no mistake, we are conquerors. Yeah, more than.
I'm not gonna say he a pathological liar or nothing like that, because it ain't right to call a man a liar, you know. But he telling me that the Black Wool. What's your bike name?
Foxy.
Foxy?
Foxy, that's her name.
Okay, so he telling me Foxy stock. Nah. He telling me she stock. I mean, I've been rolled behind him. I don't know how many miles.
Listen, I got something to keep me alive.
Uh-huh.
You know, loud pipe save lives.
Yeah.
And then I just got a mean right hand, man.
But
that's it. All gas, no brake.
All gas, no brake.
All gas, no brake. We downshift. We don't hit the brake pedal.
Yeah.
I don't even think it worked. I ain't never used it.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? I'm not gonna say he a pathological.
It's the Retro Philosophy Show. Go on and tell everybody you know. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lottie Daddy.